it was just Nintendo trying to save money by making things 2D, but Paper Mario is actually a pretty neat version of the guy, and it's pretty cool how the game takes advantage of the two-dimensional nature of the character. Number 8, Mega Mario. This one's pretty frickin' epic, and it's found in a number of Mario games. By picking up the Mega Mushroom, Mario turns into Mega Mario, growing to an enormous size and gaining the ability to straight up crush anyone and anything in his path. This would be pretty useful in real life, but it would also be terrifying to see an enormous Italian plumber strolling down the street, destroying buildings and crushing people. Either way, it's a damn strong power-up for Mario, and he puts it to good use in game. Number 7, Cosmic Mario. Cosmic Mario was introduced in Super Mario Galaxy, and he looks super cool, kind of like he's made up of space itself. Cosmic Mario would appear when Mario entered a galaxy with a cosmic comet orbiting it, and he would challenge Mario to a race to the Power Star. And you better win, because otherwise you have to try again and try to ignore the incredibly annoying high-pitched voice of Cosmic Mario, which is almost as bad as the na-na-na-na guy from Spyro. Number 6, Fire Flower Mario. When Mario activates a flower power-up, his shirt turns white, overalls turn red, and most importantly, he gains the ability to shoot big old fireballs. This is one of the best-known versions, both due to the prevalence of it in the various Super Mario games, but also the fact that Mario uses his fireballs in the Super Smash games. It's gotten to the point where a lot of people think Mario can always shoot fire, which really speaks to how popular this version of Mario is. Number 5, Jumpman. This one might be a bit controversial since there's a group of people who think Jumpman is Mario's dad rather than Mario himself. But I'll talk about that in a later video, so for now, I'll take the Jumpman is Mario position. In the original Donkey Kong game, you played as Jumpman, who had a big mustache, overalls, and a hat. So, basically Mario. Considering it was such an early video game, he wasn't exactly the most artistically version, but he's pretty cool. And this game set a standard for the future. Apparently, a mouth would be too hard to make since it'd be so small, so that's why they made him with a mustache. The more you know. Number 4, Baby Mario. First appearing in Yoshi's Island, Baby Mario is the baby form of everyone's favorite Italian plumber. With a big nose, enormous hat, and a huge splash of cuteness, Baby Mario has been in a bunch of titles. In youth, Baby Mario is particularly popular with children, and at the risk of sounding sexist, with the ladies. But I'm not gonna lie, he's pretty sick in Mario Tennis. So fast. Number 3, Dr. Mario. Dr. Mario really changed things up for Mario, and not just because he was dressed like a doctor. His first game and sequels that followed took a step away from the arcade-style side-scrolling games to do more of a Tetris-style game, using pills. Dr. Mario became a super popular version, even getting his own character in Super Smash Bros. Even though I never really liked playing as him in Smash Bros, the Dr. Mario games are classics, and definitely make the character a classic in my eyes. Number 2, live-action Mario. Yep, there was a live-action Super Mario Bros. Movie. Yep, it was awful. Yep, you're probably gonna go watch it now. In this movie, Mario was played by Bob Hoskins, and I gotta say, as terrible as the film was, Bob Hoskins was an incredible choice for Mario, just because I've never seen someone who looked so damn much like Mario. He didn't sound much the same, but that's to be expected considering the cartoonish voice Mario normally has. I won't get into anything wrong with the movie right now, since I'm sure it wouldn't dissuade you from watching it anyway. Go ahead, your review. Super Mario Brothers. This is your game. Number 1, Ron Jeremy Mario. Okay. This is simultaneously the best version of Mario ever and the most vile version ever. But here goes. In the 1993 classic porn film, Super Hornio Brothers, the part of Mario was played by none other than Ron Jeremy. And in case you're trying to figure out if he was all old and gross by 1993, he was. I can't say I personally watched the movie, but in researching this video, I was subjected to pictures from it. And let me tell you, you do not want to watch this movie. It will just make you hate Mario. I suggest just reveling in the fact that this movie exists. But if you insist on watching it and want to avoid the nudity, there's actually a porn-free version that I'll link down below. The acting's still terrible, but at least you don't have to see Ron Jeremy naked. And that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please smack that thumbs up button and subscribe to Top 10 Gaming for more gaming vids. Which version of Mario is your favorite? Let me know in the comments down below. Until next time, I'm Robbie from Top 10 Gaming. Later, gamers.
doing one big thing. It's about doing a lot.
Hey guys, welcome back to Top 10 Gaming. I'm your host Kelly Pally, and today we're taking a look at one of the greats, Donkey Kong. We're probably like alternate versions, but how? Fear not, friends. We'll be counting down the different Kongs that are part of the Donkey Kong canon in this list. I think so. Let's jump right in. Donkey Kong Jr. made his debut in 1982 in the follow-up arcade to the first Donkey Kong game. He's the protagonist in the Donkey Kong Jr. game, where now your father, Donkey Kong, from the captivity that Mario has placed him in out of revenge. Sometimes known as just Junior, this character tends to be a transitional character in the sense that Rare, the developers of Donkey Kong Country, have stated that Junior is actually Donkey Kong himself. But in Super Smash Bros. Brawl and Donkey Kong Country Returns, it's stated that the current DK is the original DK's grandson, which means Junior is the current Donkey Kong's father. Whoa. How's that for a family hierarchy for you? And at number 9 is Bluster Kong. This Kong originates from the Donkey Kong animated series, and is the comic relief of the show. I mean, take a look at him. That hair, that stash, oh boy. So Bluster is the owner of the Barrel Works factory, and he's a prissy rich boy who's a bit of a coward. He's also kind of gross too. He's constantly hitting on Candy Kong, who's Donkey Kong's girlfriend, and he's always trying to impress her. But generally, most of the things that he does leads to disaster. And do you guys remember Leo Lester? His suave alter ego that managed to win everyone over? Yeah, that hair though. And at number 8 is the Pixels Donkey Kong. Jumping over to a film that most of us wish we couldn't remember, our number 8 spot goes to the only good thing in that train wreck of a movie, Pixels, Donkey Kong's cameo. And you gotta admit, it looked pretty cool. Adam Sandler and all the other actors who were dragged into this film face off against him. And I think I speak for everyone when I say I sincerely wanted one of those barrels to knock the crap out of them. And at number 7 is Candy Kong. Candy is Donkey Kong's girlfriend. Both the Kongs and their gremlins alike think that she's one of the most beautiful beings alive. Most of what we know about Candy Kong is from the German manual of Donkey Kong 64, strangely enough, and from the animated series, although she does help DK out on several missions in the games. She has a love of music and is very serious about her fitness regimes. And she's a bit of a firecracker. She's also the first female character to appear in the Donkey Kong series. And at number 6 is Ninja Kong. Ninja makes this list because, well, look at him. He's so damn cool. Aside from having a killer aesthetic, Ninja Kong is the ruler of the Durian Kingdom. And he's the third Kong boss that DK has to defeat in Donkey Kong Jungle Beat, the game he also makes his first appearance in. He's one of the more physically stronger opponents that crosses DK's path. And fun fact, the Japanese translation of his name actually means Samurai Kong. And at number 5 is Funky Kong. Speaking of cool, I feel like this Kong is the epitome of it in the DK universe. He's basically Chill Kong. Like if someone created him today, they would totally name him Chill Kong. Yep, I said it. I'm so sorry. Bro Kong. Funky is one of Donkey Kong's best friends and first appeared in Donkey Kong Country as the owner of Funky's Flights. His Funky Barrel helps teleport you across the island to areas you've already cleared too. And Funky's fishing in the Game Boy Advance version of Donkey Kong Country. Yeah, need a zoom more? Funky isn't overly keen on being an adventurer like the rest of the Kongs, but he's still as energetic as the rest, and tends to spend his days surfing and tinkering or building various objects. And at number 4 is Dixie Kong. Another female character on our list, Dixie Kong is the first playable female character in the DK series. Kong's actually been a playable character in almost all of the Donkey Kong games. She's 17 of them, and even got her own spin-off games long before other Nintendo star Princess Peach did. In her first appearance, she helps Diddy save a kidnapped DK, fighting off gremlins, aquatic animals, and even ghosts. And at number 3 is Cranky Kong. You guys know that old cliche about old people getting away with whatever the hell they want? Well, Cranky Kong is the epitome of that at times, being DK's fourth wall-breaking, constantly complaining grandfather. Cranky was quite the rambunctious Kong back in his day, and was actually the original Donkey Kong, which is something we'll be talking about later on in this list. And he retired from being Donkey Kong after Donkey Kong 64. He then appears as Cranky Glory during Donkey Kong Country, giving DK advice, and in this game, without a fee. And number 2 is Diddy Kong. Diddy is a spider monkey and DK's sidekick nephew. First appearing in Donkey Kong Country, he was entrusted with Donkey Kong's banana horde, but ends up getting kidnapped by gremlins, causing Donkey Kong to set off on an adventure to save him. The tables are turned in DK Country 2, though, when he has to save his uncle. And fun fact, developer Rare decided to name him Diddy Kong because of the British slang for Diddy, which means small. In terms of reception, he was perceived to be similar to Scrappy Doo from the Scooby-Doo series, but others felt that his inclusion, along with other characters, made the DK games less appealing. But fans really dug him, so much so that he got his own spin-off games, including Diddy Kong Racing. And finally, in our number 1 spot is 8-Bit Donkey Kong. While we didn't want to duplicate any Kongs on this list, we do have to give our number 1 spot to the version of Donkey Kong that started it all, a young Cranky Kong in his 8-bit glory from the 1981 Donkey Kong arcade game. This game featured him as an antagonist, you know the one, an 8-bit Kong throwing barrels down at a nameless carpenter, who would later on turn out to be Mario, but at the time Jumpman, who's running up those inclines and ladders to save his lady, his girlfriend, who would later be renamed Pauline. DK didn't have a whole lot going on due to the pixel resolution of the small sprites, but he did smirk every time the player lost. The game was inspired by the 1933 King Kong film and Beauty and the Beast, which explains a lot about Donkey Kong's more rash behavior in the game. Also, fun fact, this was the first instance of a damsel in distress trope in video games.